Nam van met handen hier zitningen ring kontraster, rechter on je on film met volme, he on fing rather in with dunker but with them, you sat. So
almost all of these concerts have a kind of artistic problem with them. There's a problem for each of these. Most of the concerts, almost all of them, are pairs. And they're chosen deliberately so that there's a huge gulf between the music from one half to the second half. And yet, after you think about it, you realize that they're on the same topic. So I worked really hard to make sure that it wouldn't just be, oh, here's a bunch of good music that I stuck on the concert for you. You know, I didn't want to do that. So each of these things has a kind of polemic. And for example, the first concert is a concert called Hero. What's it like to tell a story where you're magnifying the character of something, where basically you're following an exciting declamation of the life of a hero? The first half of the concert is Beowulf. It's one of the very first stories in English, and even though we can't recognize it as English, of course, but it's very much a part of our background, and it's 1,000 years old, and it has this incredible declamation by the medieval specialist Benjamin Bagby. And he has accompanied himself with a medieval lyre, and the music is something which is completely subservient to the text.
So I have the unlevende sell your film, fate on Fulma.
The words rule. The story of this rules. The melody of his declamation is the way he whispers and shouts and screams and sings and cajoles tonality out of the Anglo-Saxon, accompanied by this very simple medieval lyre. It is musical. It's an incredibly musical way of presenting this story, but the story is how this music is completely in the service of being able to get the words out. I wanted to challenge this with another story of a different kind of hero, a different kind of person, a different kind of nobility. And I wanted something that also took something of this idea of intoning and took something of this idea of a medieval lyre. So I thought of pairing it with music by the American oddball hobo genius, Harry Partch. So Harry Partch was a composer who was a hobo, who invented his own instruments, who invented his own way of playing them and invented his own tonality. So based on his sort of theoretical thinkings about music inherited from the Greeks, he invented a 43-tone scale, and he took found objects and junk and crafted them into very strange instruments which could play in this scale. Then he invented a way of telling stories in music, of singing, which followed these 43 tones, which sounds almost exactly like the way Benjamin Bagby intones his story of Beowulf. For the Harry Partch, we're going to be presenting an opera called The Wayward, which are episodes of the life of a hobo. So in a way, it's kind of an anti-hero story about this person who's trying to live his life, trying to struggle in a way which is very dramatic and very powerful. And it's also something which is not a normal person's life. So in other words, here's the sort of, we have our normal way of living, and the hero's life is like this, and the hobo's life is like this. They're sort of, equidistant from our norm. And because of that, I thought they belonged on the same concert.